I'm John Keith. I'm actually owner of Screaming Match Productions. It's an indie label. It also works with, we curate stock music for, we've had clients such as CNN, MSNBC, kind of working on the cut music for them. We also work with retailers where we're doing just generic stock music, basically elevator music. Now, naturally, that's not where my passion's at. I like original music. I've always written original music. So what I'm more interested right now as far as exposure and everything else goes, I'm Reditus is the new band that I'm in. Now, as far as Reditus goes, I play all the instrumentals, I do all the songwriting, I do all the sequencing, I write the lyrics, and then I'm working with a guy out of Washington right now, good guy. So right now, we dropped our first EP, had a fairly good response, so we're looking for added exposure, just further networking, trying to get our name and brand out there. We actually have an album that we're about to launch in March, so that's kind of what we're focusing on now. We own a studio out in Chicago, we own a studio out in Washington, and we own a studio out in France. So as far as the genre goes, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. On the first EP, I mean, it touched any genre between ska, electronica rock, alternative, it's got that more mainstream feel to it too as far as hard rock goes. I think our goal here is to retain our integrity as musicians, but at the same time package it in a digestible form to kind of grab those initial listeners. And then from there we can go a little more experimental, because that's kind of where I like to go. Nothing like The Wall, nothing too overly conceptual. We're going to be dealing with sound bits of helicopters flying and dialogue and everything like that. But, my view on music is music tells a story. And the way I've always treated songwriting is, you draw from your inner demons. I mean, at least in my experience, you draw from your inner demons, wrap them up in a bow and tie them off and flow them off. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I think everyone has their own personal story. They all have a way they want to get it out. This is what this new album is kind of covering. It's just, it's got a darker tone, but it's got that kind of redemptive quality to it as well. So I do like music to follow a narrative. Now, it doesn't have to be, again, like I said, if you're thinking of something like The Wall, or even Coheed and Cambria, they did their their graphic novels and everything like that. We're not so much at that point. It's just more how you view music. I view music as a narrative. And an album is a pinpoint at the artist's point in their life, and I think it's the artist's goal to connect with the listener without being so specific in the theme and the lyrical content that they can't associate with it. Because again, I think our goal is to bring everyone together and say, hey, we're all human beings, we all feel the same thing, we all express it differently. You don't have to know my backstory to feel connected with my music, because we've all been through similar situations under a different pretense. So that's kind of where we're at with this new album. So it does have a darker feel to it. It's not hard rock per se. I mean, there's definitely songs on there that would fall under that genre, the more hard rock, but we do have more dubsteppy. We're trying to be innovative and mixing dubstep with conventional rock, with acoustic, piano, a lot of orchestral stuff. I myself, I'm a guitarist, I'm a bassist, I'm a cellist, I play piano, I sing, so I do a lot of backup vocals. I'm working with another guy, great guy, his name's Mike Patterson. He's kind of running the studio business out in Washington right now. And I've got another guy, fantastic engineer, very, very well versed in that leg. And he's out in France right now, kind of handling our operation in France. And His name is, he likes to go by Noisy Lingus. Um, fantastic guy. He's just very good at what he does, and he helps a lot with the sequencing. We speak a lot about, because I think one of the hardest things, what a lot of people don't realize is one of the hardest things to do is sequence an album to really capture the flow that you're going for. I mean, you don't want to open up with just an ear bleeder and then go into a ballad. You know what I mean? It's got to flow right. We're not necessarily, again, going back to the greats like Pink Floyd. It's not going to be like The Wall where we're seeking perfectly, or Dark Side of the Moon where we're seeking perfectly, where it almost stands as a single track. But at the same time, it has that flow so you're not losing interest. You know, so it kind of follows a narrative loosely. So that's kind of what we're going for on this new one, and we're trying a lot of different things. I mean, for example, in my studio, I don't like taking the conventional route, so I'm kind of detuning mandolins and banjos to just terrible tunings that no one would ever imagine using, and breaking strings and stuff like that, and trying to capture that and then sampling that in, and just because we're trying to capture the fragility theme that we're going for. So we're trying some, more innovative techniques. A lot of our percussion, we're using upside down garbage cans that we found. I mean, of course, we have our conventional drums and everything like that. I like to mix drums with more electronic drums and try to make that make sense in a way. We want to have that heavy end to it too. But we very much we are relying a lot on synth as well as organic. So we're trying to marry the two. In fact, for the new album that we're working on, and I'll say the new album, the name of the new album is called The Lost Ones. Now, where that comes from is basically that narrative, as I was just speaking about earlier, is losing one's innocence and kind of falling victim to cynicism and trying to regain yourself. So it starts out very organic and goes into more mechanical. So that's where you'll see the more electronic elements come in, the more mechanical industrial sounds come in. And it ends more orchestral, kind of redemptive. So that's what we're doing here as far as that goes. Now, on the label side, Screaming Match Productions, which is, I'm president of Screaming Match Productions. Fabian is a vice president, and our treasurer is Mike Patterson. He's a good guy, singer out in Washington. We currently have, I believe, our roster is 16 artists under it, and we like to diversify, and we like to collaborate as well.